All right. And here we are. What is this? How to awaken your inner child, heal childhood trauma, and enjoy life.
And today we're going to be talking about rekindling your inner child. And this is such an important topic, and pretty much everyone on earth, it would be really helpful if this was cultivated, because we really need to bring back our childlike natures, our creativity, our innocence for so many different reasons.
Our creativity. And what does creativity in your mind rely on? I would probably bet a thousand multiples of nothing, but I would bet that you would say it's imagination. Yes.
For the kindness and betterment of humanity, and also for our personal expansion and wholeness, so we can truly reclaim all of our sensitivities to go forward and evolve and live our missions. So it's very important.
Because if you say, well, where do you think all technology came from? Imagination, exactly. And what is imagination? It's magic. It's the realm of fantasy. And of course, you don't admit it, but everyone who actually is out in the open about what they believe in saying Satan, that's what Satan believes. Yes. But oh no, you're not a Satanist. You just do everything that Satan does. Wow.
So how did this start? Like, what happened? What was the catalyst that made these?
Actually, no, Satan does not do it. You do it. Satan just deceives you into doing it. Yes, that is the way of the world, in the sense of believing in the world, worshipping the world.
Amazing children that are alive and vibrant and just free, into these crabby adults that don't.
Because if you think the world is Gaia and Mother Nature, no, what is life? What is life? It is relentless. Yes, off the cuff, just into it, just straight. And she's going to tell you that's why you have to be ready to face it with such intensity, because look, that is a stare down of intention, of just trying to dominate you into oblivion. Yes.
Don't remember what this feeling is like. Where did it go wrong? We have to start there. We have to start at the root. So in the root, where it is
In the root is where the grass will rise and then be stomped on by the boots on the ground.
it really starts at birth, but that's for another video. But so in early childhood, most people have experienced some kind of trauma, whether that's verbal, whether that's physical abuse, some kind of accident.
The ways of the world.
Just being in the field of intense, just argument is intense. And just honestly, like,
Argument is intense. Remember that. Remember it. Remember it. It could not be that the only purpose for argument, meaning opening your mouth for any reason other than to honor and worship the life. The true life that is relentless, that gives without discrimination. No, instead you discriminate and then dish and dash and mash what you call love left and right. But all you dish and dash or left and right is what? Nothing except more suffering.
life here on earth, which many of you know about, and just being in these fields is just pretty crazy. So if there's some kind of trauma that you've had in childhood, that's the first thing that can create this disconnection. And when we're talking about this
Disconnection, exactly. The desolation, the severance. Symbolically, yes, from the umbilical cord. What does that mean? And then you're like deceiving yourself into thinking that it's the tether to the light. That's why you have to blast yourself to the sun and just blast away into the next level. No.
It's a very real thing. It's not just like, oh, I lost my playfulness, or something. It's literally a soul aspect of yourself that gets pushed out of your aura. It gets like suppressed and pushed out.
Exactly. Suppressed. I think what you mean is you mean expelled. To push away. To push away is to push away. And what are you talking about? You're talking about just bashing it, just sinking it so you can float with it. And he can clown around all you want with him, and then he's defiling you at the same time. Wow. It could not possibly be but that you're being deceived, that defilement is the answer. Wow, it could not possibly be that. No.
Out of your like soul auric field, so that it's a part of yourself that's no longer inhabiting you. It is pushed out.
It's pushed out
because you
just like the poo that you take at least once a day because you think that it's healthy, and that's what you do ritually because it's a ritual. You think that just by ritually doing it, that because it naturally just doesn't occur, right? No, it does not. You can hold your poo in as much as you want until it just fills you, right? No. No, and no, and no, and no. Life does what it does, and it does. And any obstacle in its way is because you rearrange your living room, and you trip, and you stumble over it. Yes, you do.
Push out yourself mostly. Or if the field, is just like so intense, it gets pushed out because it's a coping mechanism.
It's a coping mechanism. No. No and no. Coping is for doubters. Yes, you heard it. That's right. The only certainty is life.
So there's two ways that usually kids do it. They either numb out, and that's where it like checks out, or they just like forget and numb and suppress that like they had this.
You just said suppress your trauma, and you're just bashing now suppression. What are you talking about?
Joy or whatever it looks like. Or the other is that the kid is so sensitive that the kid takes everything on. And so you can kind of look at yourself.
Because they are forced to take everything on. They are forced into obliteration, okay? Obliterate the everything.
How did that work? Did you take everything on, or did you push that part of yourself out so that it was protected? The second way
protected? How can a child protect anything? Nothing, okay? The child is the innocence. The child is the metaphor, okay? Of course, it's a living being. Yet, still, somehow, wow, who would have thought that a child could be so massively used as in the image to point out that in a state of bash, it can be a metaphor. Wow.
Trauma can happen, that this childlike soul aspect of ourselves can get pushed out is through cultural programming. I mean, from the second we're kids, it's like, be this way, do it this way, don't do that, you're a bad.
Exactly. Like, reach for the sky, and the sky is a limit, and now nothing is a limit because you can just bash yourself into nowhere. Yes.
Girl, you're a good girl. Like, bad boy, don't do that, stop running, da 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 da. And it's just like, stop, don't. Be constrained, chill out, be a.
And it doesn't matter because these people are, just blast yourself into the abyss, and then it's okay because you come back and you strengthen the warrior that you are. You're the hero in your own story. Yes, you and you alone. You and you alone are here to just conquer and devastate. And you call that love. You call that world. Actually, you're not wrong in calling it world love, because it is world love in the sense that it wraths, it will devastate. It will devastate in the sense that it will relentlessly give you the truth. Yes. But no, we're just bashed into then leading further astray from life by thinking we can recreate our bashed life.
Zombie ant, and it's like, the kid finally, again, either checks out or just like takes on all the burden and just becomes this perfect little robot that the parents want, or just becomes this like rebellious thing that like has.
So are you just kind of describing all your split personalities? What are you saying? What are you saying?
To go check out later in life. So one of the two things happen. It could be trauma, it could be cultural programming. So we're going
Cultural programming. It can be trauma or cultural programming, which is something else because I called it cultural programming. It could not possibly be trauma. It could not possibly be trauma. And drama and trauma are one and the same because what? The swarm is legion. It has multiple faces and multiple names. Yes, it does. And what does it do? It constantly devours in stealing your living life in the sense that, yes, it will help you tickle you until you are bashing the living life out of yourself because the swarm can't do it without you letting it. Yes. Because just as life relentlessly gives, you relentlessly succumb to the lie. Yes.
We're going to be looking deeply into both of these. So back to the trauma. So when this happens, this part of yourself gets pushed out, the soul aspect. And
now it's the soul aspect. It's not the soul. It's the soul aspect. The soul aspect gets pushed out.
When this happens, that means that whatever characteristics, whatever personality, whatever special qualities that soul part of you had that just couldn't hack it, being whole and had to fracture.
Okay, she's saying, okay, what are you saying? Yeah, okay, yes, I'm rooting for you.
Is no longer available in your present day-to-day life.
Why not? Why not? Are you going to say why not?
And so when you think back and you're like, I used to be so spontaneous.
Could it be that it's not there because of the fragmenting? Not that, the fragment then led you to see a different way. Well, it certainly did. But what's going on? What is going on?
I used to be so playful. I used to be so creative. What are the things, so first and foremost, what are the things that you used to be that you might not feel you have anymore, for instance?
Because it's all about feeling. Yes, succumb to your feeling, everyone. Yes, do it. Because at any given point, no, you did not resent your own trauma and see others with apparently no trauma, and you resented that. And you then developed an anger and a ravage of revenge that just demolished and pillaged everything, scrambled everything.
And what are those things that would be really helpful if you had? Because the key is the whole...
See, now it's just regret. What if you knew all these things that, you could have when you felt a certain way? Is she going to say, what would you tell that younger self? Is she going to say that?
The whole reason that we're talking about this right now is that you need that part of yourself back. That little kid needs to help you on your mission.
Needs to help you. It's Peter Pan, guys. It's Peter Pan leading the children to drowning. Yes. Because what? Pan is the Pied Piper. Wow. Who would have thought? No. It's just no.
To be whole. If you're missing, say, if you were an extra sensitive kid, right? That sensitivity, that innocence might have gotten pushed out.
I wonder why. Maybe it was because of watching all those bash Disney movies that give me bash notions of what life is or what fantasy is, because adults will call it fantasy. Don't worry, children, it's just a movie. Is it? Is it just a movie? Or is it this trauma that you speak of, the cultural programming that you're speaking of, that you dare not call trauma? No, you will not call it that.
You need that sensitivity so that you can understand the world and, say, navigate, expand your
Navigate and expand, just smash and dash.
Your sensory abilities. So you might need that soul aspect.
You might need that soul aspect because, yeah, you have the child aspect, and then you have the blah blah blah, and then this one, and they all kind of link together to make that kundalini of some sort and just blast you inside out and defile you, and there's course.
So first begin by identifying those parts of yourself that you're like, where did they go? And what were they? What has changed between the you when you were a kid and the you now? Because the you when you were a kid is the person.
What happened between that time was pure pumping and dumping. Yes, that's the only thing that happened.
Person he or she remembers.
Exactly, remembers. So what do you remember? What does this think remember? This think is just smashed just into 1,000 points of nowhere light. Okay, what is this person talking about? This think is making this person say something, but what is it?
Who they are, remembers where we come from, remembers your mission, remembers why you.
What was your mission, child bot of the future? What was it? Remember you were Buzz Lightyear, here to just dash as fast as he can and think he can fly and just fall down. And anytime he thinks he's flying, it's because it's all just somehow synchronistically allowing him to do it. Yet he is not doing it because what? He is a toy. He is a toy that's getting smashed and animated and smashed and smashed and smashed.
You came here. So that part is your guide. That part is your messenger.
So this person is actually saying a really profound truth. This person saying the truth is true. Yet she's going to lead you astray. She's going to say children are so amazing. Yet somehow, how do they just come trauma? Oh, well, it's just the parents and this. And, maybe they just got smacked around a little bit. Maybe they just got touched. But, you need that child back. You need that trauma back. You need that back so bad. Okay? You need it so bad. And so bad, right? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You're here to overcome the ways of the world. You're not here for the world to love you. No. Why are you here? Why are you here? Are you here to be innovative and just look like Princess Leia all smashed up? No, you're not. But apparently yes, because it is so. But okay, what is it? What what is it? What is it? Okay, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? You need, okay, the truth, the way, and the life. What does that mean to you? Oh, that just means bashing and and then finding multiple ways to some way that just goes nowhere. But the whole time, just believe in yourself and love yourself so much that you can forgive yourself for just smashing and dashing and bashing. All the while telling yourself that you're learning somehow becoming a god.
And so it's we need to go find them. We need to go, they're playing hiding and go seek, and we need to go find them so that we can remember.
We need to go find the children that were just slaughtered by the Pied Piper. Guys, we need to go find them. We need to go into the abyss and just find them, pull them out. What are you talking about?
Heck, we're supposed to be doing here and have our fullness, our whole team, our whole inner.
A whole team, because we are a fragment of things and teams. We are a football team. Yes, we're just smashing and bashing the flesh around like a football team because we are a team. And there's no I without team. Apparently, yes, there is, because that's all you believe in. The one smashed I that sees only the flesh. Yes, and yes.
Our team to go forward. After identifying those certain personality traits that may have gotten disconnected, and honestly, pause this, take a few minutes, write down some of these things,
okay,
and
yeah,
then
I'm gonna
continue
stop
on, because if you watch
to
this
write
all the
this.
way
So
through,
just blast myself later over and over again to see how I'm wrong and how I should just cry and beg for that trauma child to come back and just blast my brain. Yes, I need to write this down. So I can rise like a phoenix out of the ashes. Yes, I must write this down because it is true according to this person. It is so true that it will blast your life into oblivion. Wow, amazing.
It'll just fall away into the YouTube abyss, and you'll probably never come back to it. So actually stop and do this.
Wow.
Or set it aside for another time to actually go through some of these processes, so that you can work through it right now.
Because it is a process to this think. It is a process to this think. It's always waiting because it's a process, just like the DMV, where you just go there and get smashed and bashed with a letter and numbers that flip inside out and left and inside and just defile you. Yes. The process. It could not possibly be that the truth is relentless. The truth is relentless because it's the way and the life. It could not possibly be that. No.
So we can do it right now, because it's that accessible, actually, once we become conscious of it, which is what we're doing right now. So the first step is look at those traits of you when you were a kid and you now. What's missing?
What's missing? I don't know. You tell me. How about all the defilement? Wow. It doesn't take a child to know this. What you're talking about, I think what you want to truthfully, you're begging yourself to actually, the child inside of you is begging you to say, yes, yes. The child, okay? He's saying, yes. The child is screaming out, is blasting out of you and saying, what are you doing? But no, you're just going to go and remember all the bash things that you lived through, and okay. And then you're going to say, okay, what's missing in between that? What's missing? What's missing? And you're just going to write down nonsense. Because you know what's missing? The wisdom of God. Yes, that's what's missing in your brain. It's been sodomized. It's just totally neutered and blasted, circumcised, mutilated, transformed into something you don't even recognize.
What do we need to add back in? Because that will create those qualities that we're looking for in that soul piece that has been pushed out or pushed down.
The soul piece.
Now, the second thing is, sometimes it actually is really obvious. Like, was there a childhood trauma? Did something happen?
Wow.
That was probably the moment when it happened.
Wow. That's probably when it happened. And that was the only time, guys. Just look back at the trauma in your childhood, because don't look later on. No. Please don't. Don't look forward. Just look at the childhood. Just look at the childhood, because it couldn't possibly be that it's just relentless bashing. It's just relentless. But guess what? You know what is relentless and just trumps over any bashing? The truth and the way and the life. You know what? Because you're living it. You are living the life. Yet you defile it. You defile it at every given turn of your whispering, slithering serpent ways. Oh, what are you saying? What are you saying?
So a lot of people have like a significant marker in which they can go back to and go, oh, I get it. That's when that happened.
Oh, I get it. That's when I was defiled. Right now, oh, that's when it happened. It couldn't be that it's a spiritual battle and that the temptation of being defiled is at every turn. No, it couldn't possibly be that. It couldn't be that you think that now you somehow risen like a phoenix and that somehow you can just bash and deflect all negativity like a champion. Wow, what are you talking about? You're the one that says negativity does not exist, according to the credence of the new way think. The new way, because you created it. You created by bashing and smashing and dashing and just desolate devastation and the beating of the life relentlessly out of you. Wow. And calling it ascending. And calling that ascension. And calling that ascension. Ascension to what? to the galaxy and galaxies of nothing, of sons and sons and sons of sons and sons, and blasts and blasts of blasts of blasts that don't even compute. What are you talking about?
And pinpoint that and actually go back to that time space of when that would have happened. Some people...
So just further fragmenting, okay? So just fragment your orientation and think in the past. Think of the past. You couldn't possibly say, okay, look at your life right now. Look at your life right now. The life that you call life, which is actually the beating of the life of you. And, okay, look at your life and just, what am I doing? What am I doing? Because that's the actual inner child that you're so longing to connect with by remembering all this fragmented trauma. Dash, smash, stab. Like, what are you talking about? Just go live in pain. Just stash and oh, relentless, just penetration. What are you talking about? The only penetration is life, always relentless, just despite the swarm that only deceives and steals and kills and devours. Wow. And people think it's yin yang, and that somehow life is being sodomized by death somehow, and just it's the renewal and the birth and all this nonsense. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Life is relentless. You know why people don't know what's in the afterlife? Because there's no afterlife. Life continues. Life is everlasting, forever and ever. There is no life after life. It is life. It is life. Yes, forever and ever. What are you talking about? Near-death experiences, going into the abyss and being come back and given some sort of purpose to go further defile. What are you talking about?
It's just an ongoing field, like an ongoing trauma field. And then in that case, it's still the same thing. You're just still needing to bring back in that energy. So those are the first two things to figure out.
Figure it out, guys. Those two things, and then you're on your way to blast off.
The qualities and maybe time spaces when these traumas or these pushing out happened. Because the second we can identify them and realize that they did, then we can resolve them. The interesting thing
right, and resolve them and move on, apparently, right? Because it couldn't be possible that you're just going to walk outside and get defiled, and you don't even have to go outside. You just have to actually think and get defiled. Wow, what a concept. That is nothing to you, right? But wow, being defiled is everything to you. Wow.
Is that if you do have a trauma, that you're like frozen to that time space until that thing is healed. So
yeah, it couldn't possibly be that life is the purpose is you, the flesh, right? Look at the flesh, right? But what is life? Life is relentless despite the flesh, because the flesh decays and just turns to dust. Yes, it does.
You could probably identify this more easily in other people.
But you believe it's stardust that will just magic fairy dust, blast, and smash and compress and just ignite and just form a flower bomb of nothing and just create a phoenix that just creates a supernova bliss of nothing, black hole bliss, dark hole nothing. Yes.
You might have had a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they might get into this like situation where they're really like trauma, and you're like, dude, why are you being like a little baby right now? Like, why are you being a little boy about this? Like,
wow.
Why are you, whether it's being triggered or throwing kind of like a fit or the other energy where you're like this wounded child, that is literally the wounded child. That is the part of you that's missing.
Wow.
That piece that got pushed out. So it's like that piece that got pushed out is the wholeness. And what is left without that piece is the wound.
The wound.
And so
the open gash that then what happened? You won't talk, but Oh, go on.
What we're doing right now is
Exactly.
okay, the wound is the hole.
The hole, that
and
what?
now we're going to bring
no,
back
it's just a hole.
that peace.
So
And
the
how do you
hole just made a hole, and now something happened, and then you have to bring it back. What are you talking about?
find the hole?
The
Because
hole.
you can start to see the traits of what the wounding is, which can show you when it happened and how it happened. And then
Okay, don't you think that that's the light deceiving you? It could not possibly be that your synapses based on your motive just mess. It's just deceiving you. It's just mashing and smashing, just as you believed yourself to be, just smashing chemicals around, smashing and dashing. Oh, it's, I say it because this is what you believe. Wow. Wow. Okay.
that wound usually lives in the body. So there was
Wow.
some like exit portal in which that soul piece went out. And so where is it? Where is it in your body?
Where is
And you
it
can
in your
just
body? It went out, but somehow it's in your body. What is she talking about?
take a few minutes and actually just breathe.
Breathe. Yeah, because this is just insanity. So you're going into shock. So just heavy pant. Heavy pant into oblivion. Yes, start now. And look, this is the mouth of, I'm stumbling. Where do I go? I need to correct this. This is probably take 10. This is probably take 10 of the 33rd power.
After you've identified these things and tune into where it was, where it happened, where this hole in your actual auric field got torn.
Got torn. How did it get torn? Was it the invisible hand? What touched you? Where did it touch you? Are you sure it touched you where you think or you remember it to? Because what are you remembering, huh? What are you remembering, huh? Smash, smash, dash, 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 trauma, 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 bash, 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 relentlessly, even right now.
And tune into that part of your body and bring consciousness to it. And
What is consciousness? What is consciousness? Because a consciousness you had then. So what was going on?
then the key is to then call back that soul aspect, is to call it back, is to call back.
Oh, here it is. She could not wait. Call it back. Call it back like you would a dog. Wow. Call it back. Because somehow it abandoned you and you abandoned it. Wow, it's a mash of bash, a smash and smash, of bash and dash and dash. It could not be that it is relentlessly being beat out of you. Relentlessly beat out of you. What are you talking about?
That little child from this adult self.
And of course, by calling it in, you're calling what? You guessed it, the swarm.
This is technically soul retrieval. This is what you do in shamanic work.
Oh, she could not wait to drop that bomb. Soul retrieval. Wow. So there's this giant space satellite just smashing garbage in space. And we are blasting further than space and smashing and collecting souls left and right like nobody's business.
And all different kinds of spiritual modalities, and this is what I do with clients. And the reason I'm even doing this video is because it comes up so much, like pretty much everyone needs it. And so I'm like, hey, if I can deliver some tools in which you can do it for yourself, I'd be happy to do that.
So check this out. This person believes in the flesh. Yes, the flesh, and overcoming like a phoenix from the ashes. So if you believe in a satellite that's smashing and dashing garbage, stardust, and you believe that you're just smashing and dashing in the multiverse of just multiplexes, but just smashing and dashing your brain, what do you believe? What are you saying? But if that is true, how can you retrieve parts of you? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? What are you saying? Soul retrieval, trash demolishing. Yes, I believe in all this. It's just galactic. Awesome. It's a galactic family. Yes, 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 yes. What are you saying?
Because we all need this. So you're calling this soul part back, and you're literally imagining that little kid self.
Exactly. You're literally imagining. Yes. all according to your present state of emotion. What are you talking about? Wow. What are you talking about?
And you're saying, hey, like, I see you, and I'm an adult now, and I
I'm
can
an
be your
adult
friend.
now, and I can
like,
be your
it's
friend.
safe.
So you're deceiving your child to come closer to you, even though you bashed and smashed it. No, it couldn't be that you were relentlessly beaten and just demolished, just defiled relentlessly into just abandoning the life, because that's what you're talking about. The child is the life, and that became you somehow, right? Wow, you're an adult. You call it adult, but you continue being the life. You continue being the life, but you defile it.
Safe now to come back. Like, whatever happened when we were a kid isn't here anymore. Like, we can do
It isn't here anymore. Neverland just disappeared.
this together. And calling them back and inviting them.
Call Pan back. Call Pan back. Call him back into your life. Please relentlessly ask for it to come back. Yes. Yes, that's what you must do to rise like a phoenix. Yes. Because Pan will come and he will just smash and dash you with the pixie dust. Yes, he will.
Them back into your body, back into your field, and actually feeling that merging happen is what soul retrieval.
Wow, soul retrieval is merging with the what? You guessed it, the swarm. Wow.
Is. So that's just this is
because no, apparently you just abandoned recklessly your child somewhere and it's bashed somewhere in the past, and you have to call it back somehow, and you have to bash into the cosmos to retrieve it somehow. What are you talking about? It couldn't possibly be that it's constantly, relentlessly with you. What are you talking about?
This is just basic. This is just an overview of what you can do. But just with these components, you can start to get an idea. Because I just want to bring this really to conscious attention, and so that you can start to work with this idea and see if it's something that you need to do.
And see if it's something you need to do, because the last sentence was not to shame you. Wow.
And a lot of people, I want to say, because a lot of people in the spiritual community can get into this thing where, like, then they live from the wounded inner child, and that gets kind of weird. That's like the opposite.
Okay, notice how she almost teared up. Did you hear that vibrato? Something emotional just turned in her heart. Wow, what happened? Could it be the inner child just saying, what are you doing? What are you saying? What are you saying? Wow, because this person, she knows the inner child has always been there and never left. And she's ashamed of all what she exposed it to, and what supposedly happened to her as the 33rd degree victim. Could it possibly be that the light is slithering in your ear and telling you you're the victim, and you believe it because somehow it empowers you? Yes. It empowers you to rise like the phoenix out of the ashes that your life has been turned into. By what? Relentless, savagely just demolishing any life left in you. Day in, day out. But guess what? Life relentlessly gives. And it doesn't discern. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't divide. It just gives. But the swarm defiles, steals, demolishes, destroys, and devours. Yes.
Where you're just like, my inner child feels so abandoned right now. And it's like, once the inner child's back, and it's truly like back into wholeness, it's not.
Could it possibly be that you don't even know, you don't even remember what it was to be a child, truly, because you've been defiled so much? So now when you call this so-called child back, something enters. What enters? The swarm. Yes, meaning the mash thing. The worm, okay? The serpent, whatever. This is the mash, okay? That come and devoureth.
Not gonna, like, I don't know,
the child was always with you. Yes, it always is. And it is always the return to the Father. Yes, because the child, what? Yes, looks for guidance from guess who? The Father. Yes, and if you didn't have a father growing up, forgive your mother and forgive your father for not being there for you and for not being strong enough to guide you in the righteous way of the wisdom of God. Yes, Yes, forgive. Because you will not say that any of this, what you're talking about, is to just overcome and forgive. No, you will say, call some demons into your life and just shackle and smash and just defile yourself further. Yes, because then that empowers you to just blast into the oblivion rocket and just demolish and penetrate to the next multiverse.
Throw tantrums anymore. It's back. It's full. It's fine. It's good. So just know that it doesn't have to go like be an ongoing process that is this like subtle passive aggressive way of not being able to say how you're feeling, and so then you use the inner child as an excuse. It's kind of a weird thing that happens. But one thing that interesting that does happen,
one thing that's really interesting
in the beginning when it's fresh, so it's like a fresh wound, right, and it needs to heal, so like the aura terra is healing.
The aura terra, guys, the aura terra is healing. Because, guys, it's all energy and it's all just light. It's all just light and smash and smash and smash. And it's all just smashing and waving and particling and waving and particling relentlessly. You are not here and I am not here. This is just a figment of your, what? Guessed it, your fantasy smashed brain of perception. Yes, because it slithers and it makes you feel more empowered to just rocket and blast through the world and have the world love you for blasting it. Wow.
It's coming back in, it's feeling safe, so that it's like, can I really stay? Can I really stay? So it's a cultivation, over a few days or over a few weeks of being like, yeah, you're safe here, you're safe here.
You're safe here, yes, because it's relentless. It's more further deceit, further brainwashing, because you just have to repeat it over and over, because, it could not possibly be that the truth just smashes instantly. And you know every time it does, but you turn away relentlessly yet again and again and again, which is why you smash and smash and smash and smash and bash and crash down and burn and cinder. Cinder to the abyss, and the abyss then cinders back. What are you talking about?
Interesting thing. When I first did this with one of my healers, I think this was like 8 years ago or something, my inner child was...
with my healer or something? Wow, what was that?
Wounded through my solar plexus. And we healed it, and a lot of it was the power of saying what I needed to say. It was something around that, and being bold enough to stand up for myself. Something around that.
Being bold enough to stand up for myself when I was a child, just being defiled, right? Wow, this person actually thinks that if they were bold enough and just go back in time and be bold enough to say that they would not get defiled. Guess what? There were people around you bigger and stronger that were still going to bend you over and defile you. Wow, what MASH think? What MASH think? And instead of forgiving those who defiled, you're going to say, no, I rose like the phoenix from the cindering ashes. Wow.
And the next day, I went with a friend, and she just kept talking and talking and talking and talking. And at that time, it was hard for me to just be like, okay, this is like a really one-way conversation. Like, can we balance this out? Like, what's going on here? And she just like talked for an hour straight, and then I finally was like, I gotta go. And I left. And she was like, did I do something like wrong? Or like, is there something you need to say? And my adult self was like, like it was still fresh, it was still new.
So she's talking to something that somehow she reflects as her memory. No, the memory was the trauma, but now you've created something, this mash bliss of nothing that's just slithering. It's just slithering like floss through the remainder of the savagery of the trawling that has happened. You've been fished dry, bone dry.
Expressing myself, and my adult self didn't quite know what to say. And literally, I hugged her, and my solar plexus sent out a shockwave. So like my inner child that was being healed sent out like literally an...
It could not be that was your inner actual child saying, what are you doing? It could not possibly be that. No, it could not. This person thinks that it was the actual child that told her and gave her this feeling. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Electric current, like shocking her. because
Yes, and those who are believers in the electric world are going to say, see, exactly, it's the electricity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow.
still like wounded, and she like jumped back and was like, "Oh, you just shocked me," and it was
Wow, and you think that people don't have the same reaction when they do all these stupid little games, like putting two pencils together and calling some demon? What are you talking about? Is it not the same response? Yes, it is.
really kind of crazy, and that
Because God is not here to be tested. You know who responds and deals back? Satan. God just relentlessly gives. Yes, he does. Relentlessly.
that's like an extreme example, but the point is that this child is like then defensive for a little bit.
And of course, God says that he will take or whatever. But you know what? What is God? You're going to say exactly the same question, that statement. Well, what is God? God is relative. Wow, blah, blah, blah. Nothing. If you pass this bash, think right here, can actually see the truth, which points to the Father, meaning points to God, and God can only fill your brain with the wisdom of God because he created the image. He didn't say, oh, now you have wisdom. No. Somehow the flesh is the purpose. Somehow in this bash thing, but it's obvious because all you have to do is just look around and think. And that's it. That's what you do. And you actually interpret that to be the Mash Bros world where you could just go and smash and drive around little cars and just build and block and block and block and block. Right? What are you talking about? The truth is there, always relentlessly telling, smashing you in the face. It's calling. Do you answer? No, you deny. And create your own calling systems. And you call yourselves and then answer and call back and just relentlessly bash. Who are you talking to? It's just a swarm. The swarm you honor and you elevate above all else. Yes, you do.
And needing to be taken care of and cultivated, and wants to be truly heard, and wants to come back into wholeness with you, and
wants to come back into wholeness to you. Anything that speaketh to you, I don't even know, but the wizard that slithers and that snakes into you and tickles the brain to think you to, and it convinces you to take it in. What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like your boyfriend that probably gave you the trauma where he's like, just let me stick it in and you will be whole? No, it couldn't possibly be that because that is what this face is. She is remembering that trauma right now. What is going on? What is going on? The union of the union, think about it. The union, the one. But no, you want to split, dash, stop, segregate, organize, tissues. Wow. In this cube, grid. It's all about the grid and the smart grid and the I grid because you want to grid the grid. You want the grid, the I grid, the smartest grid ever.
Can be actually quite alive. I didn't think I was going to talk about that. I didn't even remember that happened until this moment.
See? Exactly. Wow. I called it. In that moment, she was actually remembering some trauma. Amazing.
Okay, so the second
and she had to stop and edit and regroup. She had to let the demons come back in because, wow, what's happening? Maybe the child just bashed them out, but no, she relentlessly bashed them back in. Yes. And not that the child is a metaphor here, okay? Because, yes, you're the flesh. The flesh is what you see, is it not? Yes. And what does the flesh say back? Well, you don't know because you just stare into it forever. Stare in it too forever, and then it will tell you the abyss. No. Because that's the foundation, the flesh. That is the purpose. That is the base. And you must overcome and not rise above like the phoenix. No, overcome the phoenix. What are you talking about? Overcome the separation. Overcome the division. Forgive. give. Exactly. It's telling you in the word, for he giveth, for give. Very basic. For give, for give, for give. It's like some ape telling you, and even if it was an ape, that you believe the ape mind to be you are the recipient of an ape mind, right? You believe that. So, for give, for give. It's like for give, for you have to like break it down to the ape. For relentlessly, right? Program the ape back into remembering. Yes, program the ape back into remembering. Remembering what? She wants you to remember the smashing and the dashing so that you can have a fantasy relationship with it. Yes. Wow. No, overcome. Forgive those who defiled you. You don't have to go back and smash and dash in that fantasy because that already happened. It already happened and it has been engraved. It has been written. You cannot go back and rewrite it. No, you cannot. You can create a fantasy of how you're smashing and slaying dragons and overcoming. What are you talking about? No. The only dragon to overcome is yourself, and in the sense of just obliterate in the self-awareness of me, always, and just you think that, okay, just because I'm self-aware means that I just need to blast myself and bat away thoughts forever. Just bat away, and that's going to be the cue. That's the cue to my fate, right? The fate that you're trying to create. You're trying to create as thou wilt. Yes.
Way that you can get pushed down, or the soul.
Because you want to solve your trauma by just relentlessly going back and smashing. But what are you talking about? You can do it right now. Admit you are wrong. Admit you are wrong. And believe in the ways of the world. Yes. Admit it. Admit it. But you won't because you are proud. You are so proud. You're so proud of yourself for rising like a phoenix from the ashes into further brainwashing yourself into believing yourself in God. Yes. Yes. Oh, look at this.
Can get pushed away.
Look at this.
It's actually subtle, and it gets worn down over time. Just push down.
Exactly.
Push down.
Just shoved down relentlessly down this gullet. You see this gullet. Look. It looks a bit swollen right now. What is going on?
Is cultural programming. So this could be from your parents, from different teachers. It could be from various different things. But the big one that I don't think has really ever been addressed is this thing that most people in the world do for 13 to like 24 years
13 to 24.
The beginning of their life.
Right. Because before 13 was not the beginning of their life. That was just when they were getting bashed and tossed around and passed around like just, hot dogs at a party. Right? No.
Called school.
What are you talking about?
Jail or prison.
AKA, yeah. What exactly? You said something that is profoundly, yes, the conditions of the world, but then you smash it with your laughing of some sort. Usually laughing is because you're saying something truthful and it's, or humor, comedy, right? Comedy is like the absurd with the truth. The truth. Always, relentlessly. Otherwise, it's not funny. Guess what? That's right, because it's just fantasy at that point. And your fantasy, who can ever come to know your fantasy because it's just mash. It's mash, exactly. But you can come to know the truth. Yes, everyone can. Anyone. And that is the way. Yes.
Seriously, think about that. Like, I don't know if you've really thought about that. That like from age 5 or 6 to age 18, or if you went to college, age 22, or if you go to grad school and then law school till age 30, med school.
See, she knows all the dates and all the times because it was her. It was her.
In this box that's designed literally like a prison.
Like a prison. Wow. Thank you for pointing out the obvious. And this is the smashed look of smashing into the obvious. Smashing into the obvious while believing it to be something else. Wow. Who would have thought that all these smash people think that what they're seeing is something else? Wow.
Okay. Over time, your soul is going to be like sucked out.
And she knows it.
And the whole reason that I'm doing this video is because 2 nights ago, I had a dream about my inner child finally being free from school. And she was free.
See, Satan will promise, God reveals, okay? But no, you in your dream, you had the promise that you had finally somehow resolved it. So it was a false promise. Because where is it revealed that you actually overcame? You actually doubt it still, probably, because it was a dream. What are you talking about? Yes, dreams can reveal. Yes, they can, but what are you seeing? What are you seeing? What you just said is, I saw what I saw and I interpret it to be this. Could that not be possible by what the smash is telling you? What are you seeing? Because maybe the child is just calling and screaming out. And that scream is muffled and then shuffled and then just displayed and projected into you somehow in the way that you're saying right now. What are you saying?
Freaking out, so excited. She's like, I'm free! I'm finally done with this! And it was so beautiful, and it was almost like confusing. I was
wow.
Slightly...
You know what actually happened there? Maybe God revealed to you that that's when your actual child returned to the Father, and this vessel of a shell was left and just left to the Father, Satan. And now you're full legions, your legion. Perhaps that was what the dream revealed to you, but no, it's not possible because you've been bashing and just smashing so hard that maybe your child has, in a way, just been embraced fully by the Father because you relentlessly abandoned it.
Lucid, and I was like, what? I've been out of school for like a really long time. I've been out of school for like 8 years. I'm like, why is my inner child like finally feeling free, which we'll get into in a second.
Wow.
But the interesting thing is I've had quite a few of these dreams where this child part of me is finally free. And I think what happens...
Or perhaps the serpent was that child deceiving you to chase it forever. Now completely have deceived you that is your real child. Because what? You guessed it. It's all in fantasy. Because guess what? Do you remember that dream? And do you remember that child in your early age when you dreamt about it? Did you ever dream about your child self when you were a child? No, you did not. So what is it? What is it doing in your dream?
Is most of us go to this jail school, and then right after we go and we have a transfer that goes into a job, which is also like kind of like a jail. And so no one ever like gets themselves out of this like matrix grind to realize what the hell has happened.
You're like Cyril from the Matrix. Perhaps there was, a time where you just did completely, admitted that the world is savage in the sense that it is full of false promise based on a counterfeit. Okay, based on a counterfeit. And the counterfeit, what is it? It's the false promise. Yes, that is the counterfeit because it has multiple things. It's Legion. It has multiple names. And they're all bashing and smashing and dashing from you at all times.
And it's been so long. I mean, really, seriously, like 15 years?
15
that
years.
You don't even remember. Like,
you don't even remember, yet you're somehow telling people to go back and remember. Wow, so then it's purely fantasy.
Who you were before that, and you don't even remember that who you truly are is that child.
Is that child? What the emotion that you're feeling through that fantasy thing is that child. You are the emotion. No. Look, that's the look of smashhoodom. Totally being, hypnotized by the smashhoodom.
It's the freaking child. That's so amazing.
It's so amazing.
It's truly strange, and I'm not sure. I haven't gone like deep enough, like psychically, into what's going on. But it feels like some kind of like astral prison or something.
It feels Nothing but feelings, right? Because yes, she was pumped and dumped as Disney did to her, as did to her. Yes, she was pumped with all that knowledge of just pumping it into her. Yes, it's all about emotion. Yes, we got to just savagely just river raft you into submission. Yes. Yes, we can. Yes, forever change. Yes, forever change. Become always. Become what? Who knows? But become. Always become. Become. Yes.
And I'm like just now finally fully breaking free of it. And so I'm like, whoa. I think that there's something here. I think that there needs to be like a full recognition and healing done, bringing back this soul aspect just from the sentence of the 15 or 20 years, the 20 and back on earth that most kids go through. And okay, some people have a really good time in school, so I'm not gonna like just bag on school altogether. But
there was the apologize. She had to apologize. She just did it. No. Guys, still go to school. Yeah, because that's the bashed way to do it. So yeah, do it. But you can overcome. Yes, you can go back get bashed, but you can just love yourself so much and love your inner child that it just deceived you. The light just deceived you that that's your inner child, and just believe it. Because you will just relentlessly just keep beating the living actual child out of you, the life. Meaning, and it's not the actual child, because it's not the actual child. Look at you. You're not a child. What are you? You're the flesh. You're the purpose. The child is the purpose as well. But it relentlessly shows you, because you have been blinded. You have been blinded. So the only hope is what? You guessed it, a previous version, supposedly, of yourself. What? No, but it's the constant reminder, the child. Because somehow you just think you're just here now, and you forgot the child. This person. That's why people that say, oh, I hate children, oh, they annoy me, oh, they're so annoying, blah, blah, blah. How can they say that when they were a child? What are they saying? They're saying they hate life. Yes, that's what they're saying. They're saying they absolutely smash life because now they have risen above. They have risen above, like Iron Man just engineered his way into Rocket Man Bolivius. Yes, he did. But what happened? He got smashed. But now somehow he's part of a galactic nothing that just goes smash and die, convince and smash and smash.
It can be so much better, and you know this, the different Waldorf systems, there's so much education.
There's so much information, you mean? And methods of just smashing and guiding bash behavior. Because if these Waldorf institutes that are supposed to be some sort of massive alternative, yes, hippie, amen, I love the world, haven. No. Because ultimately they're still blasting them into things that already exist in the world. And yes, they're telling them innovate whatever you want. The paved space canal is the way. So it doesn't matter that it might be a less traumatizing method, but no, you totally brainwash yourself into thinking that that's actually, wow, in one with the light. Somehow that's the light, because you could just let your child be lazy and just smash and just completely become autonomous bots, just bopping up bots, rapping out beats and just smashing in the world, because you're gonna send them out to the world to cash in on their talent, because that's all you're gonna tell them. They are talents. They are talents never seen by the world before, and they can do whatever they want. Yes, they can, and you do not want to rob them of that opportunity, because you were robbed of it apparently. But no, you smashed and dashed as you could to get back at those who just smash and baff, either to show them right or just to say, I did it. Yes, I did it.
Change that can take place to bring the true soul nature of the kid into fruition, and bring back the creativity, bring back the intuition.
Because ultimately, isn't it, okay, it's about peace. It's about having peace, meaning stillness with God. Yes, not stillness with the blast rocket that's just batting away thoughts left and right. No. Being still with the Lord. Yes. Not talking with the Lord and just smashing and bashing like you do the serpents that just whisper, tickle nothing. Be still with the Lord and you will be filled with the wisdom of God. Filled, not tickled and given serpents of lies. What are you talking about? Filled. Because without seeing the truth, one truly is an empty vessel, just waiting to be devoured and filled by that who defiles. Yes.
Bringing back the play, bringing back the imagination, bringing back the boldness, the strength. So many of these qualities of our childlike nature are just so special and need to.
Boldness, directness, yes, all things that you were bashed out from even recognizing. Because the only thing that's bold and certain is life that just smashes you in the face every day.
To really be brought back. So the solution to this programming, to this jail sentence, and how the antidote is going back and truly diving into what did you love to do as a kid. And
what did you love to do as a kid? Picking your nose and eating it. Yes. Oh, how amazing. What else? Being guided to the truth by my parents because I didn't know better at the time as far as the dealings and how to actually navigate through the swarm. I did not know, so that's what I wanted. As an adult now, you can retrospect and say, wow, all that bash. Why did I go through all that bashing and smashing? Why? So forgive your parents. Forgive your parents. They led you astray.
And it's critical because there lies the key of the access, the portal permission back to your childlike nature, back to all of the information, all the codes that your child, your inner child has, is through that portal. So
what portal? The sodomized or the open gash that you talked about earlier? What portal?
For me, for instance, as an example, I'm living everything that I love to do as a kid. I am living my childhood dreams.
Wow, okay, just boast some more about how awesome you are. Yes.
Somehow I was able to remember it right after I got out of college. I think that's because I didn't have very much childhood trauma and my parents were really supportive.
Meow, 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 meow. Yes, right? And yes, you're going to keep listening to this, right? Because you are loving it. Look, she's telling you you're loving it. Wow, amazing.
So I'm, doing the art. I'm being in nature. I love National Geographic, so I'm like traveling the world. So I'm doing these
wow, she just admitted she couldn't wait to tell you what she's doing. Because you know what? Overcoming happens in silence. In silence. And not blasting yourself in the little rocket. Okay? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Things that I loved so much to do as a kid.
Overcoming is being silent with the Lord and having fill you with His love. Yes, and the wisdom that will smash any swarm that wants to defile you.
Kid, being a fairy, and so it's allowing this childlike energy to flow. Interestingly enough,
and you just do it by just doing that motion that you just did. Just pump it. Just pump that child out of you. Pump it to the jam, of course.
One of the things that I loved to do as a kid was to garden, and I didn't get much opportunity.
Who knew that working with the life actually gave some sort of fulfillment? Who knew? Who knew that every child likes to play outside and get dirty with the soil? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew?
Opportunity. My mom gave me the backyard, dark hole spot to grow my peas, and I still did it, and I loved those peas so much, and I grew a few pods even though it was like in the shade, and I was so proud. The point is that there was this part of me that really loves the earth and plants and gardening, and I just, all growing up, I
Right. So this love that you're talking about is probably just admiration. Okay, you have admiration for the world. Yes, but what? Do you just keep admiring and worshiping it? No. Why not? Because it's here to be overcome. Why? Because that's the only purpose. The flesh is the final. It's that. That's it. There's nothing more. You cannot do anything more. What are you doing? You can smash and look into fractals and look at the diffraction and fraction and refraction and just smashing and twisting and just doing everything. But what? So what? And then what? You're just going to blast to the moon and to Mars and Venus and then back and then do it again. For what? For what?
I just never had an opportunity to do that until 2 days ago. And I was with my friend Tracy in Hawaii, and I'm doing this gardening thing with her, and we're like planting pecan trees around the island.
Who knew that actually engaging in the ways of life that just relentlessly give abundantly all the time would give some sort of fulfillment? Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? Certainly not this person. She's just remembering her childhood. And, oh, that was one of the things she loved. So now she's going to go garden and go in a community garden box where she's going to get smashed into thinking the sustainability lie. What are you talking about? 21 Blake's 21 agendas. Yes, the blue beam nothing. Blue beam nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing that is not the lie if it's not the truth. Come on, there's nothing that's not the lie if it's not the truth. The truth is the only thing. The truth. If it's not the lie, it's truth. Yes, absolutely. But no, you will just your relative, all the relative way to relative nowhere. Relative. Yes, just smash and just deep throw that friction bar. The friction bar into oblivion. Yes. For real. Look. Wow, just look.
And in that state, I was so ecstatic, and I was really fulfilling this like.
Okay, is she gonna cry now again? Remembering trauma again? What's going on? I don't know.
Childhood need, like it's a need to do this gardening, and that.
The need, and what does God say? Plow, go out and plow, and feed the spirit. Yes, feed the spirit. Not go out and then feed on the peas. What is that? That's just, you're just replicating what life does. Yes, you're just doing the same thing. What are you doing? And of course, you get something from it because it's the life just telling you the truth and smashing it in your face. But you call it what? A hobby, a lifestyle, a belief. A belief of what? Nature. That's right, you worship nature.
Night was when I had this freedom dream from school, this freedom dream from the jail. And so I had somehow broken myself out astrally.
That's right, only astrally, meaning nowhere, because that's in the bliss of blisses, and the blisses of the multiplexes of verses. Wow.
In some way, by again going in and doing that thing I loved as a kid. So I've done most of them. I'm actively looking for those things and acting on them.
I'm actually just bashing and smashing until I find what I need to go and the objectives are clear. I'm going to go with this face and just snipe down anything that just devastates me. And what is that exactly? Do you just go and smash and dash in the astral plane and just find... what do you find? What do you see? No. What is it? What are you doing? What are you doing?
But there were still missing ones. So as you go in and as you identify, so the
Exactly, because it's all about identifying until you get so offended by what looks back from the abyss of the identifying world. Because you want to identify in the world so badly that you're just going to bash yourself relentlessly into the world until it recognizes you and loves you back. But no. How dare you think that it does not love you already? You have been deceived. Life is... Wow, you don't even know life. What is this? What are you talking about? What is life? She's going to say it, I'm sure.
Homework would be homework.
Oh, the homework.
What should it be? The play work. No.
Playwork. See, now she's wordsmithing you into now just what? That's right.
Play will be for you to pause this and to go through
The playwork. Yes, because we're all playmates and we're all bunnies just jumping around, fornicating with each other, just hopping and smashing and thumping and collecting nothing.
So funny.
See, she's just laughing at her own just foolishness. Yes.
To go through and go, what did I love to do as a kid? And then go do every one of those things. Because if you're missing one of them.
Exactly. That's called a midlife crisis, when you go back and relive a youthful sense of nothingness. Wow. You are smashed and just so devastated. What is this think saying? Because truly it's a think. It's a demon. It's a demon whisper that is just rattled and resonated and effervescent and just pounded, pound, just bounce all around. Now it's coming out of your mouth. It's come out of your mouth, okay?
You're missing one of the pieces to the pie of your mission because you have an interest. You had an interest for a certain reason. That means it's going to open something for you. And so to go down that route.
So just go with your passions, right? Some sort of passion that you're going to project onto your childhood, right? Because the only thing you can remember is the trauma, right? Or the so-called things that you did when you were a child. But no, where does that passion come from? No, it comes from the bash fantasy world that you're just going to just stab it into the past and make it so. Because you say it so. So therefore it is, right? And that's why you bash believe, yes.
Rabbit hole and look for it is going to be key, literally a key. And so for me, for instance, there's
literally
obviously
key.
Something, there's a part of my soul mission.
Because you're all locked up. You're all locked up in the prison of what? Exactly, the swarm.
Missing. And it has to do with plants and the earth. And I'm not quite sure what it is yet, but it's awakening. And so just go through that. And
so this person have returned to the child is just doing childish things. No, it's about what you said earlier about bold and courageous without fear, meaning not defiled. But of course now fearless is synonymous to just rebellion. No, it's not.
Act on those things. Go do those.
Because having no fear is standing in truth, no matter what. Because what are you talking about? Exactly. Because the absence of fear is truth. Yes. The certainty. Fear is just smashed out uncertainty. Yes.
Things, whatever they are, even if it's actually playing the little child games that you liked, even if it's like playing... one of my favorite games was Stratego. But like playing these different games that you liked as a kid, even that can awaken some of it too. So just go back and do that. And you can do it through an adult way as well. But either way, those...
See, because she knows it's childish. So she's like, okay, go back and do that, but in an adult way. So just brainwash yourself, because it couldn't be possibly to tell somebody, go to the park, see a child, and see your folly ways. No, it couldn't possibly be that. No, it couldn't possibly be so simple. No, you have to actually tell somebody to do certain things and just repetitive process. No, because it couldn't possibly be that all these realizations are instant. And they are instant, but guess what? You guessed it. So is your denial. It just reflects it like light and bashes. It bashes, and it just totally obliterates your vision. You have no vision.
Those are the entry gates to go back into the astral prison, and then you extract your...
Because it's not about fantasy, it's about vision. Knowing the times and the signs, okay? Because what is it that actually you see? What do you see? If it's not the truth, then it is the lie. Yes.
Child self out of it, and then you break them free, and then you guys get to go together and then create like a magic.
Did she all of a sudden start to talk like a child? Yes, she did. Did anybody else notice that? Wow. I mean, it's been going on for a few seconds now, but ever since she had that kind of little breakdown, just a few, okay, wow.
World. And it's going to be great. Oh gosh, I'm like getting...
See, now what happened here? Is she just getting bashed by these whispers? Are you getting bashed by these whispers and now you're just getting sedated and now they're like, okay, wow, you're getting out of control. We just need to just reboot. Because reboot is in there. He's just smashing and dashing in the grid and everybody's watching. Yes.
Really zany with this one, but I guess it's appropriate, so that's good. Okay, so those are the two main things to look at. Trauma in the childhood, what was it? How can you overcome it? How can you reclaim that part? Cultural conditioning, what did you buy into? What do you...
Okay, so now she's back to how she was speaking before. But notice this. What is this? What is this? This is the stare of panic. Panic, yes. Why is she panicking? It's almost like this eye wants to desperately get away. And this one is saying, no, come back because it is shocking. This eye is shocked and this one wants to run away. She is split, totally panicked, numbed, just stunned, catatonic at this point. But no, she's going to be whispered to what to say now. Next, look, what's going on here?
You want to, because you bought in, what do you want to sell? Sell it. Get rid of that shit. Let go of all that baggage. It's not yours. It was your parents. It could have been your ancestors. It could have been the culture.
Let go of the baggage. No, it couldn't possibly be that the baggage is what you're carrying because it was relentless. You just smashed and smashed and smashed and kicked and kicked and kicked until what? You have to apparently think you have to call it back. Call the pieces back. No. You are the piece. You are the final piece. The final piece, which is the flesh. What is the flesh? The flesh is the purpose. But no, you will just perpetually guzzle the flesh and transform into some other futuristic flesh. Yes, that's what you think. That's why I say it.
Whatever. Let go of all the baggage. It's not yours because you need your true light to shine through. All of that inspiration so that it is fully accessible to create and to bring it to fruition for humanity. That is your duty. That is your
duty. What? To just fragment yourself more? Wow.
Responsibility here on earth right now. And the kid is the key. Your kid, your inner child is the key. So go find out what that is, what that looks like. Go do.
It's so funny. Just go and do it. Just go and smash. Yes, it's Smash Bros, everyone. Yes, everybody loves it. You can smash and smash and smash and smash and smash and get so many points. And so many characters are on field. Yes, because as much as you smash, so many characters on field and so many demons that you have to battle to get to the next levels of bashing. And what is it that you're bashing? That you think you're overcoming like the Phoenix? What is it that you're bashing? That's right. The living life relentlessly out of you. That's what you're pushing away. The actual gift of life. And therefore, guess what? That's what it will continue to be for you. The bashed, false promise. Yes.
Do it. There's a lot here. You got a lot to do, a lot to be, a lot to play. And comment below to tell me what you do. And yeah, it's going to be great. And
yeah, it's just going to be so great. So great, guys. Amazing. So great, guys. It's going to be so great. And listen to this serpent luscious lips. This is Princess Leia coming to you from the galactic grid. Look. She is Obi-Wan Kenobi. You are the only hope.
Wow. It's funny because this is actually like a really serious topic because it's such a big deal. And like working with clients, it's so tender and it's so sensitive.
Working with clients is so tender and I just savagely defile them. Wow.
Sensitive and so precious. And at the same time, it's
precious because it identifies. It makes me believe it's what I am.
Really playful. And so it's a strange energy to be delivering both of those at the same time. but I've had a lot of experience with this, so take my advice.
Wow, she's laughing as she's saying it. Listen to her because she's saying she has multiple smashed experiences where you must trust her. That's right. It couldn't possibly be that the smash is telling you to trust it. No, it could not possibly be that this think is telling you to just smash yourself into further oblivion. Yes, you guessed it. Pave the road to guess what? The abyss. Yes.
If you want, or throw it around, play ball with it and see what happens. So if you like video,
play ball, because that's all it is. Balls that just collide with each other relentlessly over and over again to make you right wrong. And with that, I this is over. Look, it's ended. But look, what is this? Okay, this was supposed to be of how to awaken your inner child. Awaken it because it's dead. It's dead. What are you talking about? And heal childhood trauma and enjoy life. What are you said nothing in all these 22 minutes. What have you said? You've said a lot of slithering words that just said nothing. They said everything but the truth. Wow. Amazing. What are you talking about? Overcome. You're talking about it's about your parents' baggage and blah blah blah. No. Your parents led you astray. So forgive them. It's not that you're carrying their baggage. No. And it's not this astral baggage that these nonsense nobodies talk about. Baggage upon baggage of a generation and star constellations of families and blah blah blah. Smash. The only inheritance is life. That's right. The life that you just deny at every moment of your waking and blissed and obliterated life that you're just relentlessly beating out of you. Why? And that's the inner child. All these emotions that you're having is your so-called inner child. Just turning your heart, just twisting it because you have turned away. And instead of stopping and being still and refraining from further going into the flesh and just trying to find it there, what are you trying to do? If not, overcome. Because overcome and plow and feed the Spirit. What are you talking about? Because the wisdom feeds. And not the light's wisdom, which is shape-shifting your mind into oblivion. Actually, it's blasting. It's blasting the rocket. It's the fuel for the rocket that's going to launch it back into your third eye, smash down to your base level kundalini, and just smash and rocket and deliver some sort of ointment on all these nonsense astro nothing feel like they need to come and tell you about synchronicity. What is synchronicity? Mash. The true science. What is this? The true science of what? What are you talking about? If not defiling it. You just talk and defile. Talk, defile. Defile what? The truth. You just laugh in the face of the truth and call it whatever it is you want to call it, because at this point it's all relative and it's all smash. And yes, you could be atheist and you could be anyone and just live in a bliss of nowhere. And you can have all the religions and all the mashed up people and just live as long as you have the resources, right? That's why you love Earth so much, because you need it for the resources. That's your only reason. Because you're a humanist. You are a humanist, and not even that. You're a selfist. You are in this realm of self-awareness. Self-awareness. And what you interpret as the world is just the image to tell you and smash you with the truth. But no, you interpret that smashing as a right to go smash in return. Wow, amazing. Because no, it could not possibly be that at every given turn you have the heart that twists and turns. And yes, does in the living flesh call out, as life does. And the heart relentlessly beats until it doesn't. But what happens? What happens? The flesh turns to dust, and what? You guessed it, the life continues. Wow. Why? How? You're going to say, prove it. How do you know that life continues? Look around you. And of course, you're going to say, oh no, that's just because we haven't been smashed by an asteroid. We've been so lucky for billions and trillions of nothing years, and we have not been obliterated. But it doesn't mean that it won't happen. So therefore, you have to bash and fear it. And no, it couldn't possibly be. That life is relentless, and it gives and gives and gives, and that's why you are here. You guessed it. But no, you would never guess that. You would never guess that, because you would put all your fictitious chips into the lie that feeds you the rewards of the world, that you just slam and wolf down this gullet into what you think you're feeding the flesh. And by feeding the flesh, you think you're rocketing the fuel to blast into the oblivion of nowhere. What is going on? What is going on? Refrain and surrender. And don't surrender to anything. Because you have to do nothing except to repent. Repent means to what? You guessed it. Admit you were wrong. And why? Because there's only one way, and you were on your way. That is right. That is right. You were on your way of smashing and bashing and just corrupting and defiling. Which is why you have to create machines that deprogram and defragment themselves, because you cannot do that for yourself. No, because you believed in the lie that actually led you to create this machine that's telling you nothing. It's telling you nothing. Because what actually tells you something is the whispers that you believe to be the thoughts of your haven, of blasting it so you can just smash them again. It's just, it's the thoughts going out and in out in the repetitive friction of desolence. Because what? You guessed it, you had the life already and forever and ever. But of course, the flesh is the wound. The flesh is the wound. The flesh is that pours and pours and blood. Where does it pour? The blood of Christ, yes. And it slayed itself for you. Okay, what are you talking about? Because that was the way. The way back to the Father. The Father that you have built up an anger that wasn't there for you this whole time. As a child, which is the trauma that, yes, corrupted you. Because now, not having that guidance, you're open to the swarm. The swarm will consume and devour, destroy and steal any purity that is part of what you think the child is. No, it's only one purity, because it's one way. Do you call gold because there's multiple purities of gold? No, you say this is pure gold, and then there's everything else that is right. You don't say, 18 karat gold is just as the same as 24 karat gold. No, it is not the same thing. What are you talking about? You've been promised multiple ways into the oblivion, and only to mislead you from the only way back to the Father that you strayed from in the fantasy that you could create your own world. Because you hated the world of the Father that gave it to you. You hated him so much that you had to just go and smash and dash and prove him wrong. Prove him wrong and prove the rebellious you was right. And that you knew better than your parents. Well, guess what? Maybe the inner child, the innocent at one point did, because your parents were so defiled and they showed you their hypocrisy and they showed you how relentless they are in the world. They showed you how relentless they are in the world, just bashing and smashing each other. And oh, it couldn't possibly be that you learned all this and that defiled you, and just bashed any any bearing of the life. Wow. No, it couldn't possibly be that, because now you're just going to say it's baggage. What is baggage if not just carrying on anger and anger forever and ever, because you use it as fuel? You use the savage revenge of something that you don't even remember, but create this fantasy word of just, blasting yourself and having, sex with ghosts and the teachers and, gurus, and they smash and dash you and just everything. Tantra is the answer. Tantra Buddhism. Go listen to the Satanists that were once Satanists and then turn into Tantra Buddhists, because now they see the light. They see the real light. But wait, it was the light the whole time. So what are they talking about? Exactly. They're shapeshifters. They shapeshift wherever they want, wherever they see is needed to go and defile and corrupt. Yes, of course. And this person is going to say no. Because of course, evil, the lie, does not present itself as the lie. Why do you think a child can call a dirty old man a dirty old man? Because a child can see the truth. Yes, but no, the world can deceive. How, you say? By believing the swarm. And so if the old man believes in the swarm, he will deceive the child into thinking he's a good old man and the boy can trust him. And he will trust and pump and dump him and defile him and show him that he was gay and that he always wanted to be gay and that he was always here to just defile. Or whatever. Becomes just another defiled, academic. Just empty. Being told to soul retrieve the trash that was bashed out of you. Just go out in space and collect it all and bash it out into oblivion. Because you can. You have the superpower just like all the superheroes do. Because what? Yes. They were committed to just doing whatever it took to overcome, like the Phoenix. And no, it couldn't be that you just were led astray and now you have to create your own way. You create your own life. Just bash your brain and create your own life, right? Wow. Because it couldn't be possibly that the intelligence that created the whole thing that's around you has the wisdom to just fill your life. No, it could not be possible. It could not be possible. This person thinks it's not possible. Wow. I'm going to end it there.